Halloween originated back in Celtic Britain, where my ancestors would have been, so take that, America. It most likely stems from the Celtic festival of Samhain, which meant summer's end, and celebrated the end of the harvest season. They believed that during this time the walls between our world and the afterlife would become thin, allowing ghosts and spirits to pass through. Food and drink would be left at the doorsteps to appease the ghosts and stop them going on a crop-destroying rampage. Unfortunately, kids these days need to be offered expensive candy, or they're going to be destroying your crops either way. This tradition would later evolve into people traveling door to door, offering a poem or song in exchange for food. This was called guising, which obviously was a lot more impressive than knocking a door and going, "Ooh, look at my costume, I cut some holes in a bedsheet, ooh, feed me candy, you lazy millennials." Speaking of costumes, originally, wearing a costume on Halloween was to protect oneself from evil spirits by pretending to be one of them when heading outside in the day. Luckily, the ghosts weren't too smart back then, and these days even dressing up as a robot is apparently enough to confuse them. In the 8th century, Pope Gregory III created All Saints' Day in an effort to replace Samhain with a more Christian holiday. Another name for All Saints' Day is All Hallows, and it was on the 1st of November. This meant the night before that, which was originally Samhain, became All Hallows' Eve. Over time, the holidays began to merge into one single holiday, with guising becoming souling, where people would ask for soul cakes, which are basically hot cross buns, in exchange for praying for their dead relatives. Personally, I'd prefer the songs or poems, but hey, whatever works for you. In the 1800s, Irish immigrants would flee the potato famine, and yes, that's not a joke, to head to America. Once there, they began reviving traditions from All Hallows, leading to the modernized trick-or-treating we know today, basically meaning they used to egg or toilet paper houses if they weren't given the good stuff. Pumpkin carving also began during this period. Back in the celebration of Samhain, turnips were carved to help ward off evil spirits, and once the Irish moved over to America, turnips were a lot harder to find than they used to be, so they started carving spooky faces into pumpkins instead. After World War II, Halloween became a much more widespread holiday, revolving more around children and less around Irishmen egging your houses. The newly sprung up suburban areas led to the safer, more child-friendly holiday that we know today. In summary, the Celts grew up into Irish potato farmers, fled their land during a famine, and that led to the modern, Americanized Halloween that we celebrate today.